Good afternoon. Before we get started, I would like everybody please to double check your cell phones to ensure they're on vibrate or turned off, to include myself, actually. I would like to welcome everyone to the graduation ceremony for Jail Officer Basics 30 and 31. Welcome to the friends and family attending virtually. Everyone here would prefer for you to be here with us today, but we greatly appreciate the efforts of the ADCIT team to allow you to at least participate in part. Before we get going, I'm going to introduce the members of the head table, the dignitaries. On my right, your left, we have the superintendent of the Adult Detention Center, Colonel Pete Miletus, the sheriff of the Prince William County and chairman of the Regional Jail Board, Sheriff Glendale Hill, the director of support services for the Adult Detention Center, Major Amanda Lambert, and the director of administration for the Adult Detention Center, whose among other duties include supervising us, the training section, Captain Susan McMahon. I would also like to acknowledge Major Harmon of the Prince William County Police Department, who is also a member of the Regional Jail Board. We are glad you are able to attend virtually with us. To my left, your right, are members of the ADC training staff, training supervisor Sergeant Michael Martin, and training officer Master Jail Officer Justin Bonacorsi. And last but not least, from Goodwill Prison Ministries, we have our HC chaplain, Raymond Perez. We appreciate Chaplain Perez. Not only does he provide for the spiritual needs of our inmate population, but he always makes himself available for the needs of our staff as well. We're going to begin the ceremony today with the noon meal. And Chaplain Perez, could I ask you to come up and bless it for us, please?
It's always my privilege to participate in these graduation ceremonies. I have the distinct honor of looking back over all the years that we've had these staff training in our facility by our staff, and I haven't missed one. So I'm thankful for being a part of this great team. Each time that we have a graduation ceremony, I try to think of something that would be an encouragement to each of you. And this morning, as I was praying for you and praying for this time that we have together, a thought came to me. And this, of course, is nothing new, but it's a simple thought. Always stay humble. And Proverbs 11:2 says, even when pride comes, then comes disgrace. But with the humble is wisdom. Talent is God-given. Be humble. Fame is man-given. Be grateful. Conceit is self-given. Be careful. That's the great coach John Wooden said that. And Theodore Roosevelt said this. He said, keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. So aim high, but stay low. And Booker T. Washington said this. He says, if you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else. So the key to staying humble is always look for the opportunity to encourage somebody around you to be better. And then finally, this is a great quote from Confucius. He says, I'm not concerned that I might be known. I seek to be worthy to be known. So as we think of your careers, it's kind of fitting in a sense that you have the covering over your mouth. Sometimes the best thing said is nothing at all. And it's a characteristic of those that are humble is they know when to speak and when to be quiet. And the chaplain is being told to be quiet right now. Let's pray. Father, I thank you for this great agency. I thank you for the staff that works here. Lord, it is such a privilege for me to serve here. I pray that God, you would bless each one of these staff members as they embark on this career field. It is an amazing responsibility that they carry. I pray that you would strengthen them as they enter their careers, and that God, they would have great prosperity in the journey forward. Lord, teach them always to maintain that place and that posture of serving, to be humble, and yet to be great. So Lord, we thank you for this time. We pray that you would bless this food to our bodies and our fellowship around these tables. And I ask this in my Lord Jesus' name. Amen.
Please enjoy your meals, and we'll resume the formalities shortly. All right, welcome again. As we resume the ceremony, I would like to make a few acknowledgments. The ADC is fortunate to have a team of instructors throughout the HC who regularly provide their time and talents in support of our basic schools. You are always appreciated. However, the class of Jail Officer Basic 31 was nearly twice the size of our normal classes. The training section needed some backup for this group. I would like to extend my appreciation to the supervisors of A shift, C shift, and intake for rearranging your schedules to allow Officer Irish to assist with officer safety and arrest techniques, Sergeant Williams to assist with firearms, and Sergeant Picard to assist with emergency vehicle operations. I would also like to thank the ADC Support Services section for providing additional vehicles for the EVOC training, which allowed us to literally keep training moving on. And finally, I'd like to thank the sheriff and his supervisors for providing an instructor for every firearms range day, First Sergeants Bakalov and Spira, and Master Deputy Zampino, and Sergeant Tyson for the duration of our EVOC training. We enjoyed the cooperation and camaraderie. Thank you very much to all of you for your support. It allowed us to provide a higher level of training in quality and safety. I would like to now call forward Officer Cosgriff, who on behalf of both classes is going to present the Jail Officer Code of Ethics.
As an officer employed in a detention correctional capacity, I swear or affirm to be a good citizen and a credit to my community, state, and nation at all times. I will abstain from questionable behavior which might bring disrepute to the agency for which I work, my family, my community, and my associates. My lifestyle will be above and beyond reproach and will constantly strive to set an example of a professional who performs his or her duties according to the laws of our country, state, and community, and the policies and procedures, written and verbal orders and regulations for the agency for which I work. On the job, I promise to keep the institution secure so as to safeguard my community and the lives of the staff, inmates, and visitors on premises. Work with each individual firmly and fairly without regard to rank, status, or condition. Maintain a positive demeanor when confronted with stressful situations of scorn, ridicule, danger, and/or chaos. Report either in writing or by word of mouth to the proper authorities those things which should be reported, and keep silent about matters which are to remain confidential according to the laws and rules of the agency and government. Manage and supervise the inmates in an even-handed and courteous manner. Refrain at all times from becoming personally involved in the lives of the inmates and their families. Treat all visitors to the jail with politeness and respect, and do my utmost to ensure they observe the jail regulations. Take advantage of all education and training opportunities designed to assist me become a more confident officer. Communicate with people in or outside of the jail, whether by phone, written word, or word of mouth, in such a way so as not reflect a negative manner upon my agency. Contribute to a jail environment which will keep the inmate involved in activities designed to improve his or her attitude or character. support all activities of professional nature through membership and participation that will continue to elevate the status of those who operate our nation's jails. Do my best through word and deed to present an image to the public at large of jail professional committed to progress to improve and enlighten criminal justice system.
Very well done. Thank you. It is now my privilege to introduce our first speaker to the ceremony, our Superintendent, Colonel Miletus.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we acknowledge the achievements and hard work of both Jail Basic number 30 and 31, and welcome family, friends, distinguished guests, some who are watching at home. In fact, we have 45 families watching it at home, and Officer Carvajal's family is watching it in Colombia overseas. Great job by our IT guys, Alan and Manny. Appreciate it. Thank you. This year has been one we have never seen before at the Adult Detention Center due to COVID-19. Our staff, you all, and our staff is tremendous job keeping the positive numbers among staff and inmates at a manageable level. I want to thank our Academy partners, the Prince William County Criminal Justice Academy, the Adult Detention Center Human Resources and Training Section for preparing these 30 jail officers and a fingerprint live scan technician with the Sheriff's Office for a successful career. As we celebrate the 38th year of the Prince William-Manassas Regional Adult Detention Center, jail officers at Jail Basic 30 and 31 will carry out the mission of maintaining a safe and secure facility while protecting the staff, visitors, inmates, the community, and encouraging inmates to participate in good programs and reentry services. These programs enhance good behavior by the inmates and gives them a chance to succeed when they return to the community. I'm recommending the following. Continue your workout program. You all look like you're in very good shape. Take time to familiarize yourself with the entire Adult Detention Center. We're a big agency, one of the biggest in the state. Be accessible to your supervisor. Accept challenges. Represent the ADC in a positive manner, both on and off duty. And let ethics, sound advice, professionalism, and policies be your guide. I know you will do a great job, and I look forward to watching your career grow here at the Adult Detention Center. The ADC is a vital member of the public safety group, including police, fire, and the Sheriff's Department. Therefore, I'm glad to introduce our guest speaker today, Sheriff Glenn Hill, who is responsible for this public safety partnership. After a successful career with the Manassas City Police Department, Sheriff Hill was hired by the regional jail prior to opening of the Adult Detention Center in 1982. He was instrumental in hiring the original staff for the opening of the main building in April of '82. During his career at the Adult Detention Center, Sheriff Hill was promoted to our superintendent in 1993 and served in this capacity for 10 years. As our leader, he expanded our role in the public safety arena while obtaining a public safety supplement for retirees. He also oversaw our growth and successful expansion of the ADC while developing excellent inmate reentry services to include work release, workforce, and the substance abuse dorm. In 2003, Glenn Hill was elected sheriff of Prince William County and is currently the chairman of the Prince William-Manassas Regional Jail Board. As sheriff, he's been a leader in the community on many things. Excellent fundraiser events, including Special Olympics. Sheriff?
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Good afternoon, Adult Detention Center staff, graduates, and my sincere thanks to family members and friends and supporters that have joined us virtually. It is with honor to stand before you as your guest speaker for Jail Basic classes 30 and 31. I congratulate you as you commence your careers as correctional professionals with the Prince William Adult Detention Center. As chairman of the Regional Jail Board, I bring you greetings from the board. We welcome you to our agency and congratulate you on completing your jail basic training. The board would like to thank each of you for choosing to work at the Adult Detention Center. Our goal is to attract, employ, train, and retain the best qualified personnel available. Unfortunately, your family and friends cannot be here in person with us today, but COVID-19 restrictions are set in place to keep us safe. I know your family members are very proud and supportive of your accomplishments thus far. As you move forward, keep them informed about your job. Talk to them about what you do at work and about the challenges you encounter daily. It can be very helpful to you and your family. Challenges are part of the job for those of us who manage jails, supervise at a jail, or work in a jail. Adversity is a regular occurrence with no 2 days ever being the same. Finding immediate solutions is what sets jail officers and correction officers apart from other professions. With that being said, COVID-19 presented some unusual challenges for us this year. When COVID-19 virus erupted earlier this year, jails and prisons began to prepare for an unprecedented set of circumstances that would test their capabilities. Keeping inmates safe and healthy was naturally a priority, but so was keeping the staff safe. Unlike restaurants and barbershops and beauty salons and businesses and stores, jails cannot just close until adversity goes away. The pandemic caused jail staff to work with community partners to find innovative ways to maneuver through this pandemic. The Prince William Adult Detention Center has done a lot to prevent ravaged by one of the worst crises we have ever seen. Social distancing and takeout meals don't have a lot of meaning in a correctional setting. In jails, it is difficult to practice hygiene and keep inmates safe due to close living quarters. Therefore, the staff must implement some initiatives to protect the facility. And I am proud of the accomplishments they have made thus far. I want just to mention a few. Staff work with the local health department to provide COVID-19 testing for inmates and staff. Increased use of disinfectants, more jail cleaning and disinfecting machine that was purchased. Provided masks for all staff and those incarcerated. Purchase more PPE for staff and inmates. Work with the courts and attorneys for early releases and pretrial diversions. Quarantine newly arrived inmates in isolated cells. Temperature screening of all persons entering the facility at all times. Quarantine of new intakes to monitor potential symptoms. Suspended inmate programs and visitation. Extended video conferencing use with the courts. Encourage attorneys to utilize video conferencing to communicate with their clients. The goal is simple: to keep staff and inmates safe under these conditions. Graduates, today you are joining men and women who come to work every day at our jail to serve and protect our community. Of the many conversations I've had with Superintendent Miletus, one that I'm very proud of, and I know he is, he told me that during this situation, everyone come to work, no one calling in sick, and everybody did their part. That is remarkable. And at this time, I want to thank the staff at the Prince William Adult Detention Center for their service and dedication. You are our heroes. You are our heroes. In a few minutes, Colonel Miletus, our jail superintendent, is going to present you with your badge and jail basic certificate of completion. You are joining a team of correctional professionals committed to making a difference, and you are expected to be a team player and make a difference. Although it is responsibility of the correctional facility to provide for change, it is not our job to change the inmates. Our job is to offer them the tools for change and to model the behavior society has dictated as the norm. Change must come from within the inmate. Making a difference should always be a challenge, regardless of what you are doing. An offender, after offender returns to jail, the next generation is booked in for the first time. Questions arise in our minds, as they should. What can I do to make a difference? During the interview process, when asked why you are applying for the job, probably most of you responded by saying, I want to help people. This is a strong testament that most people become jail officers to make a difference. A jail officer is honest, caring, has good moral character. You exercise these qualities with your coworkers and the community and inmates to set a good example and to maintain the integrity of jail operations. We have an opinionated public. When friends and relatives learn you are a jail officer, some want to immediately express their opinions about our current correctional system. Examples of their opinions mirrored in society are, why not just lock them up and throw away the key? Some believe that sheriffs and jail administrators should require inmates to wear pink underwear and work on chain gangs. Those sheriffs and jail administrators who agree with some public perception of inmate treatment are often involved in lawsuits for civil rights violations that cost taxpayers money. When the public does not hear about, what the public does not hear about are the drug programs that we have, the GED classes, parenting groups, anger management, and other programs that prepare inmates for re-entry into the community as productive, law-abiding citizens. As a jail officer, you can make a difference in the public's perception of how this facility operates. One of the greatest compliments and ultimate signs of respect you can receive is when an ex-offender meets you in public and introduces his or her family to you. I have been in public safety for over 51 years, and I have never met an ex-offender in public that was a negative contact. Some ex-offenders walk by and simply wave, and some just nod their head when they see me. Mostly they stop and tell me how well they are doing, thank me, and introduce me to their family. They talk about the jail programs that made a difference in their lives. And some even ask me about jail officers they remember while they were here. I believe jail officers are role models for inmates. Be the best that you can be. You can make a difference in the lives of those you supervise. Always stay focused. Remember your training. Do not forget the jail officer's code of ethics. Be a team player and always promote a professional image for the Prince William Adult Detention Center. Colonel Miletus, you have a good-looking staff, and I know you expect good things out of them. So congratulations, jail basic classes 30 and 31. Stay safe, and may God bless you and your family.
Good afternoon, everybody. What a different way to do a graduation, but it's going to be a interesting and a fun experience for all of you. As I was sitting at home yesterday, I was trying to think of some things to say to both jail basic classes. I hope this works for you. Today is a milestone. It tells you how far you've come. Keep learning, keep trying, and keep accomplishing. Keep venturing on throughout your journey. The future holds no promises, but rather mysteries and surprises. What you have learned will prepare you for both. Congratulations, and all the best for your future. We have several awards to present today, first being the top academic awards. Over the 12 weeks, the recruits were tested on subjects like constitutional law, Fourth Amendments, and civil criminal matters, just to name a few. Our third highest academic student for Jail Basic 30 with a 90.93 is Officer William-Manassas. Our third highest academic student for Jail Basic 31 with a 93.66, Officer Sauer. Our second highest academic student for Jail Basic 30 with a 92.69, Officer Lawrence. We have a tie for our second top academic students. Both of them received a 94.10, Officer Ralatero and Officer Werder from Jail Basic 31. Our top academic student I lost my plot. Sorry. Our top academic student for Jail Basic 30 with a 96.88 was Jacob Sanders. He is unable to be with us today. Our top academic student for Jail Basic 31 with a score of 95.53, Officer Cosgriff. All right. Our next award is for top skills. This award goes to the student who achieves the highest scores in the following: emergency vehicle operations. We've had some interesting moments with our emergency vehicle operations the past two academies. Firearms and defensive tactics. Third highest skill award for Jail Basic 30 with a 95.30, Officer Noyce. Third highest skill award for Jail Basic 31 with a 95.31, Officer Sauer. Our second highest skill award for Jail Basic 30 with a 95.56, Jacob Sanders, who is unable to be with us today. Second highest skill award for Jail Basic 31 with a 95.47, Officer Simmons. Our top skill award for Jail Basic 30 with a 96.46, Officer Lawrence. top skill award for Jail Basic 31 with a 96.82, Officer Frazier. Our next awards will be presented by Major Lambert.
Good afternoon. So a couple of things from the previous speeches that were failed to mention. As the Colonel indicated, we're on our 38th year, and the sheriff was responsible for hiring all of the people that started in 1982 when the building opened. One lone survivor has been here for that amount of time, and that would be our Colonel. So he's the only one that was hired initially back in 1982 that stands today. So congratulations, Colonel. I would also be remiss not to mention and acknowledge the folks in the back of the room. As we've talked about a lot today, COVID has really limited what we can do, right? But we've had some people that were saying, I want to be there. And for us, it was really the people that you're going to be working alongside for the next couple of years of your career. So I'd like to introduce the watch commanders that are here representing and supporting you today. And the first one I see is Lieutenant Creighton in the back. Please wave. See Lieutenant Harmon back in the back. Got First Sergeant Daly back there. First Sergeant Daly. Got Lieutenant DeShields. Lieutenant DeShields. Also present in the back is the Director of Security, Captain Herlock. And I see Lieutenant Cortez in the back supporting you as well. Is that Officer Collins back there? And Officer Collins from our training department is back as well. And there's a couple others back there. Who is back there? Officer Crockett's back there. I can't tell, her mask's on. So, as much as everybody would have loved to have been here to support you, I hope you understand why, including your family and friends. And we appreciate them being able to join us virtually. So celebrate with them tonight, hug them when you get home, right? So I'm honored to be able to present the Dennis Webb Award. So this award is actually voted on by you as to who the recipient of the award was going to be. And it's a special award to all of us, especially those that have been here for a while. And it's because, one, that you vote for them, and two, it's a memorial of somebody that was near and dear to us. So Dennis Webb began his career at the old Sheriff's Department, so prior to the regional jail existing. And when he came over in 1982, he was responsible for really training. So he was kind of all of this, right? It was kind of a lone trainer within the organization. Not only did he train our staff, he trained thousands across the Commonwealth of Virginia. He was a general instructor, he was a firearms instructor, he was a first aid instructor, and a defensive tactics instructor. So he had a lot of knowledge and background. Dennis was a pioneer when it came to training, and he also was the officer in charge of our tactical response team. Dennis spent a lot of time and trained for disaster management. So where I'm going with this is Dennis was a true public servant, right? He gave a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of knowledge to the public, not just our community, but he would respond to hurricane events to help provide disaster relief. He was an amazing person. Dennis received a prestigious award from the American Red Cross for all of his efforts surrounding his first aid, American Red Cross, and his disaster management. He was a certified jail with the American Jail Association, which really does give credibility to his understanding and his knowledge of corrections. Dennis was always looking for different ways to help you grow. Not him, you. So it was really about the staff that he looked out for. He was a captain with us before he left to become the chief deputy for Arlington County Sheriff's Department. So he retired with us. I could go on and on and on about his professional accomplishments. We don't have that much time. So a few words to kind of describe him from his character standpoint, which we've talked about a lot today. He was a great man of faith, right? He was an excellent listener. All of these characters you should be putting in your pocket for future use. He had the best communication skills ever. He was involved, like I said, in his community. He was an innovator. He thought outside of the box. He was progressive, which is what we often refer to for our own facility. He always believed in second chances. Don't ever forget that. He was energetic. He had an infectious smile, and he gave the best hugs, which are forbidden today, right? He would not have liked COVID. He wouldn't. He was generous. He was very generous, and he was a mentor to all of us that encountered him. Dennis left his fingerprints all over this agency, all over his community, and all over the Commonwealth of Virginia, and further. On November the 10th, 2007, he was doing what Dennis did. He was making a donation at a local Goodwill store when he was tragically killed in an automobile accident. Yeah. So just the day before that tragic incident happened, he was at an academy graduation. We had an opportunity to see Dennis, to talk to Dennis, to relive old memories with Dennis. Kind of strange, but we were all incredibly happy that we were able to do that. He spent the day visiting with us, walking down memory lane. We are grateful he did that, and to have known him and to have been a part of his life. We will never forget Dennis here, never. We want his legacy to live on because he, out of a lot of people we've encountered, is most deserving, right? So the person that receives this award, we expect to carry on that level of legacy. It's a heavy lift, right? But you were voted on by your peers who see what you have instilled in you. So for class 30, the recipient, who could not be here, was Jacob Sanders. For class 31, the recipient of this prestigious award is Officer Nicole Dove. Thank you, and we wish you the best of luck.
Excuse me one second. I enjoy the entire program, the Jail Basic. I enjoy celebrating your accomplishments. But my favorite portion has always been the student speeches. Representing Jail Officer Basic number 30, I would like to ask Officer Diamantes to come forward, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. So here we are, 5 months after COVID-19. This is where the infamous JB30 finally comes to a conclusion, which I'm sure much of the training staff is happy about. After all, they couldn't have forgotten about us. We were, of course, their favorite class. You can ask Captains McMahon and Harlock, they'll tell you the same thing. Nonetheless, here we are today officially graduating. The Academy had its moments to remember upon and moments we wish to have forgotten, such as myself and others on our OC practical day. Miss Bersium found out that she can indeed breathe when she's calm, and I found out that I create an abnormal state of mind, to say the least. Thank you again to my partners Abbott and Tahir for standing by my weirdness, and Hernandez for the cardboard cutouts. You were a lifesaver. And thank you, First Sergeant Sanders, for spraying all of us. I know that was the highlight of your day. On the topic of pain, here came our DT days, where we learned valuable techniques and practices to apply in situations that we may encounter on the job. It was interesting to watch fellow students experience no pain, regardless of how hard we tried in practice drills, those students being Marab and Bursian. It's good to know that they didn't suffer while the rest of us did. Whenever we found ourselves to be conducting warm-ups and practice drills, there was Officer Villatoro, always extending his count times and reminding us to shake it off, being the motivator that he is, and for that, we thank you, sir. Then there was the firing range. Let's just say many layers of clothing and hand warmers were being utilized during this time. Despite the cold, I believe I can speak for all of us in that it was one of the most enjoyable times in the academy. We were able to shoot thousands of rounds together and have friendly competition along the way. Some of us were completely new to firearms, while others had proven to be very proficient shooters. One of those proficient shooters being Mr. Noise, or otherwise known as the second coming of John Wick. He was able to achieve 2 perfect scores, which was amazing to watch. Finally, our time at the EVOC track. This is where all of us were able to perform well and continue our competitive drive on both the fast track and skills course. I can remember on the first day of EVOC conducting the introductory drills. My partner, Miss Cortez, who was riding in the passenger seat, was a bit anxious as we started. I remember her frantically urging me not to hit grandma as we traveled at 55 miles per hour, waiting for the radio call to swerve as we quickly approached the prop. Or Mr. Lawrence, who would at times caution me to slow down when approaching apexes in the corners. Then you have the most serious student of us all, Mr. Tahir, who learned after day 1 through multiple stops of the vehicle that Dramamine would work in his favor throughout EVOC. In conclusion, the Academy was a roller coaster for us all, from the exams that would challenge us weekly to discrepancies amongst each other. At the end of it all, we as a group were able to bind together and take the training we were taught and successfully complete the course. I hope the experience is something we all can carry to learn and guide us wherever we may be. We would like to thank First Sergeant Sanders for all the valuable lessons he had taught us along with his crazy stories, Sergeant Martin for his invaluable medical training, MJO Collins for his sarcastic remarks along with his excellent DT instruction, MJO Crockett for helpful guidance during EVOC procedures, and finally MJO Bonacorsi for coordinating and leading his favorite class, JB30. Thank you all and stay safe.
Well done, sir. Well done. I could not help but notice that you got no sympathy from Jail Basic 31 when you mentioned the cold weather on the firearms range. They had quite the opposite extreme. Representing Jail Basic 31 with class remarks, I would like to ask Officer Sauer to come up, please.
Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome Colonel Miletus, Sheriff Hill, executive staff, academy staff, family, friends, and all other guests. It's an honor to have you all here. My name is Mitchell Sauer, and I'm thrilled to speak on behalf of Jail Basic Class 31. The 12th and final promise of the Jail Officer Code of Ethics: do my best through word and deed to present an image to the public at large of a jail professional, to progress for an improved and enlightened criminal justice system. The word professional jumps out. 12 weeks ago, when we first began, First Sergeant Sanders told us, "You're here to become professionals." JB 31, it's been an honor to get to know each and every one of you. These last 12 weeks have tested us in ways I'm sure many of us never thought possible. From the sheer terror and excitement of the EVOC track to the agonizing pain of OC spray and everything in between. Each one of us have pushed through, persevered, and put our best foot forward. Throughout this academy, each of us have faced our own set of obstacles to overcome. We've discovered our strengths and weaknesses and used what some of us excelled in to help others who needed the extra practice. We found the benefits of working as a team, but it didn't end there. Many of us had to juggle bookwork with our lives outside of work, balancing our studies with time spent with our wives, husbands, fiancés, girlfriends, boyfriends, and kids. One of the many skills required for a job in law enforcement is multitasking. I've watched each and every one of us grow into that officer that we've been trained to become. I'd like to take a second to acknowledge the instructors that have been with us through the past 12 weeks. First Sergeant Sanders, Sergeant Martin, Master Jail Officer Bonacorsi, Master Jail Officer Collins, Master Jail Officer Crockett. Thank you. Numerous hours spent in the classroom, literally hundreds of pages of notes later, countless takedowns, pressure points, and pain compliance techniques have built up to today. I think I speak for everyone in this class when I say you've more than prepared us for the career that lies ahead. You've given us the foundation to build on and continue our training. This is a tough job. How many times have you heard that? In many cases, this is a thankless job that comes with long hours, lost weekends, missed birthdays, missed holidays, missed cookouts, the list goes on. And yet each of us are still here today, committing our lives to one of the most unique professions on this planet. I think that says a lot about each one of you. That despite the known challenges we know we'll face on a daily basis, we are still here in a freshly pressed uniform, painting ourselves as a professional. After today, the training wheels are off. What happens next is up to us. Think back to the training we've been through, use the skills we've helped one another to hone in and refine, get out there, and in the words of NJ Collins, let's make it happen. Thank you. Colonel Miletus, on behalf of JB 31, we have a plaque.
Officer Diamantes.
Miletus, on behalf of 30, sorry, plaque as well, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
JB 30, we've been waiting on you to do this since March. Are you ready to make it official and get some certificates? If I could ask Colonel Miletus and Sheriff Hill to present certificates, please. And MJ Bonacorsi to call the roll for his class.
All right, you guys ready? I know it's been a while. All right, up first, Officer Abbott. Officer Bersian. Officer Cortez. Officer Diamantes. Officer Hernandez. Officer Lawrence. Officer Matosa. Officer Noyes. Officer Tahir. And Officer Villataro. And now First Sergeant Sanders for Jail Basic 31.
It's been an interesting 12 weeks, but it's been a good 12 weeks. I usually dub each class a little nickname, and you will be forever known to me as the mask class. I don't even know if I'd know you by face, to be honest with you. Their class pictures are in mask. First time ever. From the Prince William County Sheriff's Office, Miss Baltimore Thacker. Officer Barrett. Officer Carvajal. Officer Cosgriff. Officer Cotton. Officer Dove. Officer Frazier. Officer Gutierrez. Officer Kindima. Officer Kreutzer. Officer McLilly. Officer Oates. Officer Relatera. Officer Redmond. Officer Robinson. Officer Sanchez. Officer Sauer. Officer Simmons. Officer Steed. Officer Tipton. And Officer Werder. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for all the graduates? Good job. First Sergeant Kephart, Prince William County Sheriff's Office, is also in attendance today in her support. Sorry we failed to mention you earlier. Jail Basic 30, do you remember your battle cry? This concludes the formal part of our ceremonies. MJ O'Bonnell-Corsi is going to dismiss you, and when he does, please sit back down, and then we'll dismiss Jail Basic 31. MJ O'Bonnell-Corsi.
Prince William County. Prince William, Prince William Criminal Justice Academy Jail Basic number 30. Attention! You are dismissed for the final time. Dismissed.
Strong together.
We'll cut you a break. It's been a few months. And before we dismiss Jail Officer Basic 31, I would like to ask everybody if you would like to take photographs with your supervisors or with each other. Based on the COVID restrictions, we would ask to go outside. It's been recommended the new facade of the expansion on Mosby Street might provide a nice backdrop. And the award winners, you'll be getting your pictures taken with the Colonel and Sheriff. Prince William County Criminal Justice Academy, Jail Officer Basic 31. Change on. It's been good, 31. Take care of yourselves. Dismissed. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our presentation. Thank you.